Guys, here Mr. G with another video for rate of reaction for the grade 12. This time we're going to be answering question 4 from the test or informal test about the rate of reaction developed by Professor Rodriguez. Please subscribe to the channel if you didn't do so you can get all the notifications and videos I post on regular basis. So this time is question 4. And question 4 states that learners perform two investigations A and B to study factors that affect the rate of the chemical reaction. They use the reaction between solid calcium carbonate and excess of hydrochloric acid. The hydrochloric acid is in excess, and that is an important point here. Represent the balance equation and all three investigations. Well, let's continue. This is the balance chemical equation. Now, question 4.1, investigation A. So question 4.1 is for investigation A. So let's analyze this one. The investigation A, the learners conduct two experiments using the conditions as shown in the table below. And you can easily think that they change here the state of the calcium carbonate, in other words, the surface areas. So the question say identify the factors that influence the rate of this reaction, and that will be surface area. Surface area is the answer. Write down an investigative question for this investigation. And an investigative question could be, how does the change in surface area affect the rate of the reaction? This point here is important. How does? You cannot say does the change in surface area affect the rate of the reaction. So it must be like how does, or you can say what is the relationship between surface area and rate of reaction. The learners now repeat experiment 1 but use 4 grams of calcium carbonate in excess acid instead of 2 grams. They find that the rate of the reaction increases. Give a reason for the increase in the rate of the reaction. Note that the hydrochloric acid is still in excess, guys. So if you increase the mass with an excess of the hydrochloric acid of the other solution, that will increase the surface area still. So in this case, the surface area will increase. There's more particles inside. Use a set of axes to draw a graph of change in mass of calcium carbonate for experiment 1 and 2. Clearly indicate experiment 1 and 2. No values required, they only want the graph, the shape. And then let's do the graph. Now, if we start here with experiment 1, for instance, you can start with either one. So experiment 1 is going to be all the way down and is going to end at the x-axis because all the calcium carbonate was done. So we are going to call this one experiment 1. What happened with experiment 2? And let's go back to the table. Experiment 2 is done with lamps and therefore it happened slower. If it happens slower, the gradient is less. In other words, it will take longer to reach completion. So for experiment 2, the graph will go a little bit less gradient and it will end also there, but you can see that the gradient is less. So that one is experiment 2. This one is the graph they want, guys. I see there is some issues with a graph. Let's go to question 4.2, investigation B. Learners conduct two experiments using conditions as shown below, and in this case they use lamp, but they now change the concentration. So identify the independent variable for this investigation, guys, is concentration. It's concentration. You can see that what they changed was the concentration of the two experiments. Use the collision theory to explain how the variable identified in question 4.2.1 does affect the rate of the reaction. And then let's answer that question on this side here, question 4.2.2. The first thing you have to say is that when the concentration increases, there will be more particles. There will be an increase in particles per unit volume, guys. That is the very first important thing you have to say here. This one will therefore end having more collisions per unit time. and therefore there will be more effective collision per unit time. There will be more effective collision per unit time. Effective collision per unit time. If you don't write it in that way, you don't get the mark. And therefore, just to end this one, the rate of the reaction increases. Therefore, the rate of the reaction increases. And guys, this is the end of this question and therefore the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for the channel if you didn't do that yet, and I'll see you next time. Mr. G here.